guys, it's your girl Wanzia and I'm back today with another video. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how did I survive on $30,000 per month for my paycheck over a 5-year period. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. You have to learn to live within your means. And you have to learn to be grateful for the little that you have. You have to know how to satisfy and look on things and shut your eye and walk past. I can remember the days when I never have a job. Every work I do is a 3-month period work I do. Every work I do is that I can't get above 3 months. I was like, yo, we come and like them set a 3-month spell upon me because I can't do nothing over 3 months. I did supermarket work, I did it for 3 months. But the security work, I did it for 3 months. I did work experiences, I did it for 3 months. I did call center work, I did it for 3 months. It's like everything, everywhere I go, it was just a 3 months spell that was on me. And then there was a time now after I did the last job that I had for 3 months, I was unemployed. But remember when me get unemployed, I go through a lot. Me never born rich. I know what it feel like to be hungry. Me know it feel like we can't find certain things at certain time. Me know it feel like for one day here and can't do it. For one do this and can't do it. For one buy certain type of food and cannot buy it. I know how it feel. But at the end of the day, God blessed me with a job when I did not have none. So there was a time when I was getting $0 per month. And then the last job that I had, I was working like below $30,000 per month. So sometimes I tell people, you cannot judge a book by the cover, and not because a person don't act away and they don't talk away, mean that they have it. So when person see me going on my job, they will think that, hey, this girl have it all locked. So not because I cannot do certain things mean that I'm going to low up myself. I remember what motivates me to learn to sew was because when I went in the stores in those times, I could not afford to buy those suits, and I never was going to buy them because there were some simple things that they were selling for $5,000-$6,000 and me not go buy it. So I decided that I have to learn to sew my own clothes, and I sewed my own clothes from there. Okay, so let me show you what my budget then looked like right here. So my pay was $28,500. I hold money in the shop. That's like $1,500. I had to put some money. $1,500 remain $27,000. Then I have to put some money to food, which is $4,000. Then I have to take back out my fare out of it, which is $8,000 for the month. It was $8,000 then. And then I hold one of my coworker. That coworker, I had to pay her that $500. I had to put $1,000 and light bill, leave back $13,500. Then I had the water bill to put a little money on also because I was not living alone. So I put that on the water bill, and then I needed to buy a foundation. I need to buy some pills, and then for my savings, I decided to spend $5,000. Then I have another $4,000 left. So during those periods, I used to have a few friends, and we're close friends, so we will discuss our pay and what our pay look like, and they would be like, I'm getting like a $70,000 per month or $80,000 per month or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting $28,000 per month. When I told them that, they would be like, girl, you need to leave. I stood and I stand up in my job, and I prayed and I praise God every single day. And let me say this, you see, when God is in something, little is much when God is at the center of it. I place God at the center of my job. And I survived it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Let me stop at 3 years. So I was sending out applications everywhere, every year, and nobody called. Because you cannot leave your job to be jobless and don't have nothing to do unless, there is this urge and there is just this thing within you that say, what, leave, or the faith or God tells you to leave. I have something better in store. I did not see that. I did not get that go ahead from God. So I continued and I stayed in my job. And what people have to understand is you have to be grateful in any single small little things. And Sometimes I wonder, why is it that God never allowed certain things to happen to me at an earlier age? And I come to the conclusion and to understand that my head was giddy. I could not manage money. I could not budget. I did not know that it is not about the big amount that you work, but it's the small amount, and it's the small thing that you can actually do with your money. And I said, God, I need a better job. But at the end of the day, God could not give me a better job because I was not ready for the job. So sometimes you might sit and you might say, hey, why is this not happening? Why my cousin's getting jobs, getting big jobs, or why this is happening to this person, that is happening to that person and it cannot happen to me. But the point is that you are not ready to contain and manage the blessing that God is going to give you, or what God has in store. There are still some stuff that you need to get rid of. There's still some growth that you need to understand. There's still some money management skills that you have not grasped. There's still responsibilities that you don't understand. So you are not ready for this big plate of food that I have in store for you. And when I look back, I said, that was what God was saying to me. So I was there for 3 years, and I'm like, 3 years and I work below $30,000. Oh God, that just annoying, And you understand me? We go to the police test, and we pass the police test and get through everything. I know the people then cannot call me. I was like, what kind of sadness they upon me? You understand me? What have I done so bad? And at that time, I was a Christian, and I was like, God, I've been working for you. I've been doing all of this thing for you, and you are not opening the door for me. What's up? Coming 3 years now, 3 years plus now, lack motivation. There was nothing motivating me. I will write down my dreams, I will write down my goals and everything, and I will not act on them because I was just living from hand to mouth, and I was just living how I want to live. But 3 years plus, my biggest failure, my biggest fear come up, and that was getting pregnant. I never see myself being able to survive at all with a child. Like, baby, where baby I go? How the hell am I going to survive on a budget of under $30,000 with a child? I was like, this is impossible. And my mother said, you are going to survive. You are going to make it. If I did it, you are going to do it. You are an adult. You are not a child. You are going to make it. And those are two words that encourages me and pushes me. I learned so much in the period where I'm telling you that sometimes you might see something as your worst, like the biggest mistake of your life. Let me tell you, out of your biggest mistake, it's your biggest blessing, it's your biggest lesson, it's the best thing that will happen to you. Remember, I had no motivation. I got this child, which was my sole responsibility and was my sole motivation. When I look and see that little child, and I was like, whoa, this is my child. I had no choice but to be motivated. I had no other option but to push. I never pushed like this in my entire life. And this was my worst fear and mistake, I would say then, that I could ever think of. So what am I saying? I'm saying to you, God does not give a man more than what he can bear. There is nothing too hard for God. And once you put God in the center of every single thing that you do, let me tell you, you cannot fail and you will not fail and you will make it. I think that I could not. And when I see what God do, the stuff that I acquire and accomplish within a 3 years or over a 2 years period was miraculous. It was marvelous. The stuff then that I do, I never done them before having a child, and I use the same pay, the same money that I was getting, and I budget my money so well, take care of my daughter, fix up a little room, and I'm holding on strong. I never thought that I could do that with that small amount of money. It's not the little amount that you have, it's the motivation and the mindset that you have that you are going to do this thing. So 2022 now drops in. And 2022 was the year when I decided which is right now in this year. I made my goals and I set up my plans, and I decided in myself that 2023 was not going to come, and I'm still working that amount of money for the month. It was just, I was grateful for it, but there's a time now when enough is enough and it's time for you to step up and it's time for you to move. But the mind is something, the mindset is what you have to have. And when there were times I get my pay, and after getting my pay, I can't buy nothing, because after budgeting out what I had to budget out, there's nothing left for me. And there are times I went in the bathroom and at work and I cried because the burden was so much, and I'm trying and persons are not calling me for jobs interview. I cannot get any job and I'm just stuck in the situation. I was like, it's just too much for me now. And I was like, God, I am not going to continue to the end of this year. I can't make it with this. As I said, I had applied for the police force, and I applied in 2017, passed everything and do it in 2017. 2018 I called them. Yeah, we see your application, but you have to wait. 2019 I called them, same thing. 2020 I called them, 2021 I called them, and in 2022 they decided to call me. When they call me in 2022, now remember, I know this is the year when I said I'm not going to stay in this job any longer, and then this is a big opportunity for me now. And I pushed it back. I told them I was no longer interested, because I'm not going to take up something that my heart is not with, and also I was not physically able to do it at the time. So anyways, I was like, Jesus Christ, Father God, I wonder for the opportunities you put to me now, and the opportunity may make fly past me. But anyway, I never stress it. I was like, you know what? Good, better, best. You know, something else will come out there that is comfortable for me. And then finally, God gave me a second call to do a second interview for a different job. Went there with confidence, and I prepared myself for the job. Let me say one thing again. You see, sometimes when you're in your dark room, you need to be preparing yourself. When you're in your process, you need to be preparing yourself. Prepare yourself that when an opportunity comes, you will fit in the slot. Prepare yourself that when an interview comes, you'll be able to do an interview. I remember they called me to come and do this particular interview, and they tell me that they were going to do an entrance test. And let me tell you, I go back to some math, some English, some spelling, some becoming like I'm going back to school, because I was like, me not going to make an opportunity come and me miss out. So I prepared everything, and 2 weeks I was in my book, reading, practicing, because I was like, this, I am not going to fail this because of me being lackadaisical. So when you're in your period of down, prepare yourself, because the opportunity is going to come, and you don't want when it to come, you missed out. You understand me? God is preparing you for something great and something better and something bigger. And I went in the interview, and there were other persons there. As I said in another video, I was talking about interviews. There were other persons that were there, and I decided that this job is mine. I'm going to get this job. I'm not going to watch who is there. I'm going to get this job. And I went there, did my best, and I got it. I got it, and it's way better than where I'm coming from. And then I didn't tell no heap of people about what it is that I was doing. People were just seeing me moving around, walking around, and I'm moving in silence, because not everybody is going to be happy for you. Some persons might say, yeah, you get a better job, but it's not even all that either. It's not all that to you, but to me, it's all that, because from nothing to this, then to this, you're going to say it's not all that. That's the thing with some of us. We are so ungrateful, and we forget that we were in a down position and we climb up. So because they're at the top, they're expecting that you're going to jump and come at the top with them when they take 10 years to reach there. So I'm saying, don't listen to nobody. When you're doing your thing, act in silence. The best thing for you to do is just to make people see your boss out. People see you blooming, and then they're like, wow, shame the enemy with your silence. So if you have reached the end of this video, hopefully something touches you and you'll be encouraged, and just stay tuned for the other videos.